Canned fish and seafood was the first part of building a sea pantry. In fact, we've been canning fish and seafood for over 140 years. I love this line. This is Sea Tales from Bart Van Olphen, an incredible chef, an incredible champion of sustainable, ethical seafood. These actually are wild albacore tunas, and you can get this traceable on their website, whether it's the catch method or even just by looking for that blue fish from MSC. So, what better thing to do with it than to come up with a delicious recipe that's a little bit creative and probably reminds you of something your grandmother would have made. This is a tuna fish cake that we're going to make, and if you want, you can even freeze them and make them ahead. We're going to start off, and I've got a couple of different types of tuna here. I'm going to put them in a bowl, and it's going to remind you a little bit of making a tuna salad to start with. So this is 2 cans of tuna that we've actually drained. And then we're going to start just by sort of flaking it and getting it broken up a little bit. But you don't want to over blend it. We don't want it to be homogeneous in the fish cake that you're going to make. Now, we've got to add some flavorings to this. So to me, there's nothing better than a little bit of lemon juice and lemon zest going into a tuna dish, along with a little bit of Dijon mustard. You know, if I was making a tuna salad, I'd use Dijon mustard, I'd use lemon in it, but this is just going to give it that boost of flavor. And then I also have some chopped parsley, and I have some chopped fresh chives, because that's going to give us kind of that boost of color. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of Tabasco, because that's going to bring out all of those flavors, and we just want to combine it. So you can already see how it quickly comes together, but how it doesn't take much. It's got all of this great color in it already. Now the next thing is going to be kind of what binds it together. Now you can take torn pieces of bread if you want, or you can use a panko breadcrumb, but we want to just put a little bit in there just to be able to bind it together, along with, now you're going to need some water, or you can use a little bit of that juice, that water that was in the can. Bart's left just enough in there for us to be able to use this to moisten up our little cake. Now, the last part of this, and you want to make sure before you add this that this mixture isn't too moist. This is one of those moments where you get to decide, does it need a little bit more moisture based on the moisture that was in the can of tuna or not? But I'm going to add an egg. And the egg is really what's going to bind this together. We want to have it be nice and moist, have it hold, and based upon that moisture level, I can go ahead and put in my other breadcrumbs. And I do like those panko breadcrumbs for the very reason that they don't get mushy. You know how when you use a breadcrumb, sometimes it gets a little pasty or mushy, but not these. So now take a look at the mixture. It'll just start to kind of hold. You should be able to just pat it into a little cake. And this is what we're going to do next. We're going to make our cakes, and we're going to put them onto a piece of parchment. And the reason why we're going to do that is because we're going to form them into whatever size or shape you like, and then we're going to put them in the refrigerator. Before we actually cook them, we want to have them get nice and firm in the fridge. So you can see how I can put this together, forming it into the size I want, making it perfect for a little appetizer if you wanted to do that, or if you want them like I've got as a main dish. We're just, you can see, just gently putting that patty together. Let's do one more, because what you'll see is it's almost like when you make a hamburger, you don't want to squeeze all of the air out. It's the air inside that's going to expand, and it's going to give us the tenderness that we want. You could also see that you could do this with leftover fish if you wanted to. If you had some salmon that you cooked and you wanted to be able to use that as well, that would be perfectly fine. Now, this will go into the refrigerator, and what I do is I just cover it with another piece of parchment paper. Don't want to get it too sticky, and then I'm going to just pop it in the fridge. Now, while that's starting to get firm, what I'm going to do is make a sauce to go with it. And I have to say, I feel like this is my go-to sauce. I don't know what it is about curry and lime. My mom, for my birthday, I always used to ask me, what do I want for my birthday dinner? And I would pick this curry chicken salad. It was my favorite. And the base of that is really the base of this. It's mayonnaise and curry. And so I've got mayonnaise and curry already in here. And I don't know if you know this, but curries really are, all different types of spices that are blended together. And depending on where you are in the world, you'll find different curries made of different things. So look for a curry that's your favorite. This one is from Olivier. It's a golden curry. To me, it has all of those warm spices, and it's not too turmeric based, which is sometimes what you find out of the ones in the grocery store. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my lime juice. Now, you may decide that you want a little bit of lime zest in this, and that actually is delicious too. And remember that zest is just the outside before hitting the pith. And it has more esters, more oils, more flavor than almost anything else, even the juice. So now that I've got a little bit of that in there, I'm also going to take some of my lime juice. And remember, the tip here is make sure you're using limes that are room temperature so that you can squeeze them easily. Generally, you'll get about 2 tablespoons of lime juice out of every lime. We're going to combine this now. And you can see how quickly it comes together. I'm going to season it with just a little bit of salt and pepper, because that's really going to bring out that sweetness of the curry. And then I've got a little container here. I'm going to pour it in. I'm going to garnish it with a little bit more of our lime zest. I'm just going to do a little sprinkling over the top. We'll put that along with I like to do maybe a little bit of lime wedges with this, totally up to you. But we'll put that with our finished fish cakes, a little bit of lettuce greens, and we've got dinner ready to go, all straight from the sea pantry. Thank goodness for sea tails. Thanks, Bart. This is going to make a great meal.